Shoved by Georgiev.
Beecher.
5-3 Bruins, huh? What a game that was against the Avalanche. But we're not just going to sit here and recap it play by play. We're going deeper today.
Way beyond the box score.
We've got 2 really interesting articles about this game, and we're going to dig into them, unearth the why behind that final score. What does it all really mean?
We're going to try to figure that out. We've got one recap from the Bruins side. They're understandably pretty excited. And then a more neutral take from the Avalanche's perspective.
Yeah, and that Bruins recap, they were fired up about that fourth line. Kostelic, Beecher, Kipke, 2 goals. For a fourth line, that's incredible. Those guys were absolutely buzzing.
And, a dominant fourth line is a game changer, especially as the season goes on. It's not just about the goals either, though. 2 goals is huge.
I bet. It can't feel good as the opposing team to have a fourth line constantly threatening.
You're trying to conserve energy, focus on shutting down the other team's top players, and then boom, suddenly this fourth line is creating havoc that throws everything off.
It's like they don't get a break. The recap mentioned that Kupke goal, a tip in off that peak shot. They were saying it was a thing of beauty.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, Beecher with the empty netter just to seal the deal.
But that's such a momentum killer, to be losing like that. And then, bam, empty netter.
Just demoralizing.
Totally. And you know what this all means. This means depth. Depth is what wins championships.
100%.
Yeah.
It's not always the flashiest thing, that fourth line, but, man, it's important. Speaking of important, we got to talk about Hampus Lindholm. He had himself a game, didn't he?
It did.
The recap mentioned he scored, but it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, it sounded like it was more of a gritty goal, a get-it-done kind of goal.
Exactly. But then, get this, he makes this incredible assist on Pasternak's goal. Talk about an all-around player.
And you want to know something interesting? He played for 22 minutes that game.
Seriously. That's a lot.
That's a testament to his importance to the team.
Yeah.
He's out there for the power play, the penalty kill. He does it all. Coaches don't just play guys that long unless they're absolutely vital to how the team functions as a whole.
22 minutes. That's wild. And speaking of players who are super important to the future of this Bruins team, the recap mentioned Mason Lohrei had a pretty good game too, right?
Yeah, he did, especially that assist on the Coyle goal. They were saying he was on his horse for that one.
On his horse? What does that even mean?
It means he was moving, man. Speed, vision, all of it. It sounds like he was all over the ends making plays happen. That's what you want to see from a young player.
For sure. So this guy can keep it up. He could be scary good.
Absolutely. And that really got me thinking about insert name of player who made similar play earlier this season, because you almost never see a play like that. But Lohrei last night, that was the same energy.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a perfect night for everyone on the Bruins, though, right? The recap mentioned Matthew Poitras and Riley Tufte, that they both had some struggles. Poitras spent a lot of the third period riding the pine.
Yeah, being benched is tough, but sometimes you need that, I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened here, but I've seen it happen before where a coach benches a guy and it actually helps the player, gives them a chance to reset.
Right. And Tufte, it sounded like he had some trouble in his own zone.
Yeah, the defense. Look, everyone makes mistakes, even the best players in the league, but it's how you respond to those mistakes that really matters. You got to learn from those mistakes and come back stronger.
It's like those little mistakes, those are learning opportunities.
100%.
It's easy to focus on just the goals and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to hockey than just that.
So much more. All right, should we talk about the losing team for a little bit?
The Avs.
The Avs. They've actually been outscored in their last 3 games. It's not just this Bruins game. They're having some trouble putting the puck in the net, which, I mean, if you follow hockey at all, that's not exactly a remote, right?
It's true. This is the Avalanche we're talking about. Offense is supposed to be their thing. And we were looking at the stats earlier. The Bruins really outshot them.
Yeah, if that's happening, it usually means that team is spending way too much time in their own end. And the Avalanche article, they know this is a problem. They even said that they need to figure this out quickly if they even want to think about the playoffs this year.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But hey, even in a loss, there are always some bright spots, some positives, right? Like, for example, Kellum Ritchie.
Oh, yeah. His first NHL goal.
That's awesome.
And they've got Matthew Steenberg. He's supposed to be this amazing prospect, and he could make his NHL debut any day now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there's still a lot to be excited about if you're an Avs fan.
Definitely. And I got to mention this guy because I was really impressed. Devin Toews. He's been rock solid on D for them.
What's so special about him?
Have you ever heard of plus minus?
Yeah. Isn't that one?
So it basically tells you how many more goals your team scores than the other team when you're on the ice. And this guy Toes, he's been a plus machine.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
He's not going to make the highlight reel every night, but he's reliable, he's consistent, and the Avs are lucky to have him.
He just gets the job done.
Exactly. Sometimes those are the most important players.
You know, it's funny, at the end of that Bruins recap, they asked a question, and I thought it was interesting. They said, is it weird to think the next game's going to be an early season test?
For the Bruins?
Yeah. Like, it's October.
It is early, but then again, every game matters, right? And when you look at the Bruins' schedule, they have got some tough opponents coming up. Some real challenges.
That's true. Any teams in particular we should be watching out for? Yeah. Matchups that you think could really make or break the Bruins season?
Well, it's tough to say this early on, but I do think a lot hinges on how these young guys, like Loré, for example, how they develop.
Yeah.
Can they keep up this level of play, especially when they're going up against top-tier competition every night?
It's a test, for sure. What about Colorado, though? What do you think? Are they going to be able to turn things around? Will they be a playoff team?
It's hard to say. On paper, yeah, they're stacked. But something's not clicking right now. That offense, they need to figure that out if they want to go anywhere this season. And the defense needs to step up, too, because they're giving up too many good chances.
It's still so early, though. There's a lot of hockey left to be played.
That's true. And we've seen crazier things happen, right? Teams that start slow and then just catch fire.
It happens every year.
Every year. Hockey's the best.
The best. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive. We covered a lot, but there's always more to discuss, isn't there?
Always.
What are you most excited to see this season? What players, what storylines are you following? Keep those questions in mind, think about it, and we'll be back soon to talk more hockey.